Brilliance Audio.
Elijah's Whim by Victoria Blue, performed by Teddy Hamilton and G.C. von Klautz. Monday morning had never looked good on me. I had a hard time letting go of the weekend debauchery in favor of a button-down shirt and knotted tie, regardless of how well I wore the look. I chuckled to myself while knocking on the thick oak door. Yeah, humility had never been a good look for me either. Not that I gave that one too many laps around the track. But I already knew this particular Monday was going to be a doozy. My two best friends were on the other side of that heavy panel, and they were going to pounce on me the moment I walked through the damn door. It wasn't completely their fault. Lately, egging them on was one of the highlights of my otherwise boring life. The more weighed down they became with life's trappings, the easier they were to antagonize, especially Sebastian, with a newborn son, baby mama Abigail, and constructing his dream-turned-reality skyscraper, dubbed The Edge, in downtown Los Angeles' financial district. It was like taking candy from a baby with him. A 210-pound nothing-but-muscle and really bad-tempered baby, but a baby, all the same. "In," the big guy called from behind his desk, or where I pictured him to be sitting when he gave his usual call to enter his office. I'd been on the other side of the door enough times when the mighty Sebastian Shark bellowed for someone to come in, not being bothered to stand up and greet his visitor. As predicted, when I breached the entrance, Bass was seated behind his 3 monitors, already typing angrily on the keyboard in front of him. At the same time, striding toward me with his usual wide grin in place, was our 6.5-foot tall friend, Grant Twombly. The man was newly engaged and looking more and more like himself with every day that got between him and the nightmare abduction he recently endured. He reached forward to initiate our brotherly handshake. "Ah, speak of the devil," Grant said good-naturedly. "How's it going, man? I will take that comparison every day of the week, but do I want to know what the two of you were talking about? Maybe." He chuckled and then shrugged. "Maybe not, but it can't be too hard to guess. That bathing suit Rio was wearing at the pool party?" I waggled my brows wolfishly, but it was all an act. Grant growled in my direction, and it was comical because he knew how I felt about his woman. My buddy couldn't think the comment was meant to do anything more than get a rise out of him. Could he? I actually had a moment of regret for saying it, but just for a millisecond, that he took that bait defied all reason. "Why do you insist on egging him on, Elijah?" Bass asked, pinching the bridge of his nose. "And so early." I know, I said, holding my hands up in surrender. "It's just too easy sometimes." Time for a subject change before I was having to supplicate before my morning caffeine boost. "Coffee top off, anyone?" I offered, strolling over to the boss's setup on the far side of his luxurious office. Floor-to-ceiling windows lined one side of the suite and offered one of the best views of downtown Los Angeles money could buy. 3 of the 10 wealthiest people in the city were accounted for in this very room. My 2 best friends and I were well acquainted with the finer things money could buy. However, the life lesson that remained the most important thus far was knowing the things you couldn't buy, no matter how much money you had. And the 3 of us could check that damn box too.